Victorians have had enough. They've been crying out for tougher bail laws. We, the Liberals on this side, have put to the government no less than 3 times in the last 12 months. 3 bills have been put into this parliament to strengthen the bail laws. But the government hasn't listened. And they're only listening now because they're realising that their polling is crashing. They don't care about Victorians. Victorians wake up every day to news reports on the radio about home invasions, carjackings, and people who have been bailed extraordinarily amounts of time, up to 50 I've even heard. Now, this is not just happening in the city, this is happening right across Victoria because the government has sent a very clear message to offenders that you can get away with it in Victoria. Too often we are hearing people bailed and out back on the street within 2 hours, the next day, and we've been saying for 12 months here on this side of the chamber, enough is enough. Now, we finally had the Premier realise that if she didn't do something, she's probably going to lose the government's position, and she's finally going to do something. And probably her job, that's exactly right. And that's the only reason she's reacted. Now, we had a bill briefing yesterday afternoon at 3:30. No bill, however, had been produced for that bill briefing, which we said to the government, will it be available? Because the whole point of a bill briefing is to find out what's in the bill and to have time to scrutinise the bill to make sure it's right and put forward solutions, better ideas, or accept that this is terrific and it's, nothing needed to do here. But there was no bill. Instead, we got a lecture from the minister saying how bad it is in Victoria. Well, we've been saying that for at least 12 months. The Victorians have been saying that. So then they come to us late last night with the bill, and laughably, they've used tactics for trying to look good in the bill's actual title. They've called it the Bail Amendment Tough Bail Bill. I mean, who puts that sort of thing in the title of a bill? This is a desperate government that's trying to say to Victorians, oh, hang on, no, we're hearing you now. Well, I'm sorry, there were 3 opportunities in this last 12 months for us to, for the government to say, oh, okay, you've got a bill, we'll look at that, we'll debate that, we'll adopt some of the ideas, maybe improve some of the ideas, but they just didn't even allow debate. Now, in the meantime, we've seen so many people terrified in their own homes, and it's not just in Melbourne. So many people having their cars stolen, so many crimes involving knives. It's just, and youths, often, as we saw a few weeks ago, using their mobile phone to actually make fun of the government, saying, look, I can even get away with it and I can post it all over social media because you're just so pathetic in this state of Victoria. Now, my own community of South West Coast have also been complaining. Just some months ago, we had a meeting with 100 traders turning up. They're desperate because they're getting intimidated in the workplace. We can't get young girls or boys to do after-school work in certain places like the Coles supermarket because it's just too frightening. For the parents to come and pick them up in the car park is too dangerous. People just jumping into cars and intimidating people. And many of these people are getting the police are doing their absolute best and the best job they can do, and I commend them for the work they do. But it's not their fault that they have to be, the court's bailing them, they have to then process them, and the next day they're picking them up again. We even had a situation where a young mum and her friend were having a coffee on the street in front of a coffee shop in Warrnambool one morning at 10:30, and the guy who had been bailed the day before actually came along and he actually said, and was heard by many people to say, I'm going to kick that baby. And he proceeded to walk up and kick the child in the pram. The mother was obviously very distressed, and you know what? That guy was bailed again, only to be out 4 days later, causing havoc and stopping traffic in another part of town. This is what the poor police have to deal with. I've got the traders doing whatever they can to help solve this problem. One of the girls, Simone Rogers, is sitting on a committee that the police have organised to try and improve things for the town of Warrnambool, but she's frustrated because what really needs to happen is strengthening bail laws, and these laws do not go far enough. You can actually break bail on this, with these amendments, and it will not be something that will result in you being not bailed again. So you can go out and you can burgle someone's home, and that's not deemed reason for breaking bail, not strong enough. You could get bail again after that. Then you could go and burn somebody's home down the next day. So arson is something that you could still get bailed after committing, and then you could rob someone. And once again, you could be bailed. So these laws do not go far enough. A lot of this is smoke and mirrors. The government have not done what they're promising. They're pulling the wool over Victorians' eyes, and people in South West Coast have had enough. I had a woman say to me that a man said that in Victoria she heard him yelling at her, "I'll only do 2 months for stabbing if I plead insanity in Victoria." So that's the intimidating language that's even being used on a woman in a small country town. So it's really out of control. We've got people smearing blood all over products in shops, thefts in shops, and you know, we're not talking about locking up people for petty theft, but when you're severely intimidating people and really destroying people's lives, and the victims are the community, something has to change, and this does not go far enough. The government's supposed bail amendment, tough bail bill, does not cut it, and the government knows it, and Victorians will not see a better outcome as a result of this.